everybody. Welcome to the Nets postgame show with Rebecca Lobo. I'm Nancy Newman. Both teams playing the second half of back-to-backs tonight in Charlotte. The Nets took an 8-point lead into the second half, and the second half was wild with all kinds of lead changes and runs. The Nets finally coming out on top, Rebecca, after a frantic finish.
Yeah, an incredible fourth quarter. You know, the Nets found themselves down 12 after the Hornets went on a 10-0 run, and it shows a lot of resiliency because it's hard when you're missing shots and the other team is making you pay for it consistently. It showed a lot of heart to be able to come back down the stretch in the fourth quarter, and Kevin Durant was at the center of it all.
Absolutely. At one point, it looked like they were gassed. They had run out of juice, but everything changed when KD re-entered the game in that fourth.
Yeah, KD was outstanding, and what happened, he started to demand double teams from the defense, and much like last night, when those double teams came, he passed out of it. The guys were unselfish, found open players, and unlike in the first three quarters, those guys hit their shots.
Okay, let's go to the video evidence. Fourth quarter, a game of runs. Terry Rozier, he was big. This gave the Hornets a 4-point lead. And more from Rozier. First game back after missing several, another one from beyond the arc to make it a 7-point lead.
Remember, Terry Rozier, like you said, first game back, he was probably the one guy on the floor who had fresh legs because he's coming off of injury and didn't play last night.
They kept it up off the miss. Nick Richards putting it back and one. Claxton getting teed up too, 80-69. But here come the Nets, and here's KD re-entering.
And take a look. He is surrounded by guys, but you know that he can take and make shots on anybody. And then the drive, the defense comes, he kicks. Watanabe continues to play great basketball, shooting the ball well.
Bringing the energy, 87-80. More Watanabe.
And again, just great sharing of the basketball by the Nets. And it starts with a double team on Durant, as does this possession. Pass, extra pass. Joe Harris in the corner, able to drain it.
Part of a 12-0 Brooklyn run to tie it. 2 minutes to go. Cam Thomas time, slithering into the paint and laying it home. The Knicks retake that lead.
And notice, and notice the theme. KD doubled, makes the pass, extra pass.
Hornets moving it around in front. Right after that, KD. Now watch as he misses the three, but the play continues. Joe Harris, the huge rebound. He'll get it back.
It's fun to play basketball this way. Yes. Joe Harris went, that rebound just kind of fell in his lap. And then here, huge shot by KD coming around.
That put the Nets up by 4, and that is your final margin of victory. What a hard-fought win, 98-94. The Nets only swept one back-to-back series last season in early April, and this is their first back-to-back sweep on the road since late in the 2020-21 season. Tonight, they get the job done behind some great performances late from up and down the roster. What stood out to you most beyond what we've already talked about?
Well, it's kind of what we've already talked about, and that's the Nets' willingness to continue to share the ball. In the third quarter, they went away from that a little bit, but it was because they were missing shots. So KD had to create himself and try to put things on his shoulders a little bit. Then in the fourth quarter, they get down 12, but they trust the process. They trust their teammates, and KD again just making right decision after right decision when the double team came, sharing the basketball and them getting the extra pass after that.
Some news during the second half of tonight's Nets game. The Athletics' Shams Charania delivered another update on Kyrie Irving's suspension from the Nets. Tonight, Irving served the second game of his suspension. Charania tweeted tonight that according to his sources, Irving must complete 6 items in order to be reinstated. The Nets reportedly told him he must apologize for his actions, condemn the movie he promoted, and make it clear he does not have anti-Semitic beliefs. He has to make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes, undergo sensitivity and anti-Semitic training, meeting with the Anti-Defamation League and Jewish leaders, and finally, he has to meet with Joe Tsai to demonstrate the lessons learned and that he understands the gravity of the harm he caused, plus make assurances that this type of behavior will not be repeated. Let us step aside. 43 points.
Yeah, the bench was absolutely terrific. Cam Thomas had 21 of those. He was 10 of 11 from the free throw line. That's another place you have to look. 20 of 22 from the Brooklyn Nets. They needed every one of those from the free throw line to get this win.
It is time now to hear from the Nets coach Jacques Vaughn after his team gets the win in the second leg of this back-to-back set, battling through a challenging fourth quarter.
That was a crazy game.
Yeah.
What did it take to get the win, especially during that fourth quarter push ended?
Megan, that was gritty, grimy, Brooklyn-esque kind of fourth quarter. 21-7 run. I don't have any stats, but I think 21-7 run to finish the game. Down, right? We're down 12 at one point, but guys just kept fighting play after play. We said dedicate to this play and move on to the next one. We did.
And when you talk about the fight, to have so many young guys step in when you've had to deal with so many different rotations, what can you just say about that Brooklyn-esque griminess fight that they have that you've seen?
Yeah, it's awesome to have Cam finish the game. You know, it's amazing. It's lessons of life. It's amazing what the difference of a week could look like, what 2 weeks can look like, and he was ready. Cam is a hooper. I could take him to Rucker Park. I could take him to Crenshaw High School on the West Coast. So he can hoop, and unbelievable job of finishing the game today.
Obviously, you'll always take a 40-point win like you got the other night. But I mean, is there an intrinsic value in a team that's essentially a new group? I mean, you've gone through a couple iterations of this team. Is there an intrinsic value in coming from behind and pulling out a win like that?
Yeah, Brian, without a doubt is because I think the thing that we're going to hold on to is back-to-back, on the road, odds are against you. We talk about no excuses, and we didn't find an excuse. We found a solution, and so that was the goal of the entire group, to see the bench cheering for each other, totally into the game. Without a doubt, this win is a little different. It means more than the other night.
Jack, obviously, Kevin's Kevin. He's an unbelievable player, but specific to tonight, when you put him back in with 6:30, just how much of a lift did he give the rest of the group down the stretch?
Yeah, total trust, I think, that he had in the coaching staff. You know, he ran the whole third, and if it was up to him, he would have loved to run the whole fourth. But we said, let's wait so you have good energy to finish the game. I pointed out one play to the group after the game. I asked Yuta Watanabe, had he ever met Kevin Durant before this? And he said no. But at the end of the game, Kevin drove on the right side of the floor. Yuta Watanabe was open in the corner. He threw it to him. The group trusted each other throughout the course of the night, and that was a prime example. Good stuff. All right, guys.
Plenty of smiles. Some of the key words and phrases: gutsy, gritty, they found a solution, team effort.
Yeah, I loved it. We didn't find an excuse. We found a solution, and they certainly did that. And it was also interesting hearing Jacques Vaughn talk about, you know, KD would have loved to play the entire fourth quarter. Instead, keep in mind, they're coming off of a back-to-back, or the second game of a back-to-back, gave him some rest, and when he came in, it changed everything. And it was interesting to me because in the first half, Charlotte wasn't running double teams at him very much. You know, they would switch on screens or just not send two guys to him. And when KD came back in the fourth quarter, almost every time he touched it, when they got into on-ball screening action, two guys came to him, and he made them pay every time. He only finished with 2 assists, but his initial pass, you know, kind of the hockey assist that we've seen was the difference in helping guys get open looks.
Coach Vaughn talked about that play, KD.
Yeah.
Have you met Watanabe? And we're going to run through it here.
Yeah, Watanabe sets the screen, rolls, and then flares out to the right side. And, of course, Kevin Durant is going to get attention when he drives. He gets Watanabe's defender to step